Have you ever wondered who really controls the world's biggest companies? Think about it. Apple, Amazon, Google, Pfizer, Microsoft, Tesla. These are the titans of our modern economy. The companies shaping our technology, our medicine, our communication, our future. Most people assume they re-controlled by their CEOs, the charismatic faces we see on magazine covers and TED Talks. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Sundar Pichai, Tim Cook. But what if I told you that none of them truly hold the final power? What if behind every major company, behind every quarterly report and executive decision, there's a quiet force pulling the strings? A force so large, so powerful, and yet so invisible that most people don't even know it exists. Its name is BlackRock. And it might just be the most powerful company in the world, not because it builds cars or smartphones, not because it makes medicine or energy, but because it owns everything. BlackRock manages over $10 trillion in assets. That's trillion with a T. Let me put that into perspective. If BlackRock were a country, it would be the third largest economy in the world, behind only the United States and China. It manages more money than the GDP of Germany, Japan, or the United Kingdom. And it does so quietly. No ads, no logos, no headlines. Most people have never even heard of it. But chances are, BlackRock owns a piece of your life. Maybe you have a retirement account, a pension fund, health insurance, a university endowment, government bonds, index funds. If so, BlackRock is likely managing your money right now. They don't just invest in markets, they shape them. They don't just participate in the financial system, they help design it. BlackRock was founded in 1988 by Larry Fink and a group of partners who had a vision to build a company that would use advanced technology to understand and manage risk better than anyone else. They started small, just 8 people and a handful of clients. But within a decade, BlackRock had built something revolutionary. A system that could scan massive amounts of financial data, identify threats, and optimize investments like never before. That system was named Aladdin. Not a magical lamp, but a digital crystal ball. Aladdin stands for Asset, Liability, and Debt and Derivative Investment Network. It's a risk management platform, a supercomputer, a financial command center. Every day, Aladdin analyzes billions of data points across global markets. It evaluates the behavior of stocks, bonds, currencies, and commodities. It predicts trends. It assesses geopolitical risks. It simulates market shocks. And then, it makes decisions. Buy this, sell that, hold here, move there. And here's the thing. Aladdin doesn't just guide BlackRock's portfolio. It powers over 200 of the world's largest financial institutions. Governments, pension funds, central banks, sovereign wealth funds. They all depend on BlackRock's technology to manage their investments. That means BlackRock isn't just influencing the market. It's shaping the decisions of those who control the market. It's a financial GPS system that everyone else is following. So when BlackRock moves, the world moves. But what exactly does it own? The list is overwhelming. BlackRock is a major shareholder in nearly every major company on the S&P 500. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan Chase, ExxonMobil, Coca-Cola, Nike, McDonald's, Netflix, Intel, Nvidia, Chevron. It is hard to find a corner of the American economy where BlackRock doesn't have influence. From the phone in your pocket to the gas in your car, from the food in your fridge to the medicine in your cabinet, BlackRock profits when you consume. And here's something even more striking. BlackRock often owns these companies alongside Vanguard and State Street, 2 other massive asset managers. Together, the Big Three manage over $20 trillion. They're the top shareholders in nearly 90% of U.S. public companies. This isn't just wealth, it's concentrated power. Power to influence corporate boards, power to sway executive decisions, power to push policies and agendas behind the scenes. And yet, they're not subject to the same scrutiny as the companies they control. They operate in the background, quiet, calculated, permanent. Let's go deeper. BlackRock's role in global events is not just financial, it's political. During the 2008 financial crisis, BlackRock was brought in by the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve to analyze toxic assets and help stabilize collapsing banks. In other words, while the economy was burning, BlackRock was advising the fire department on how to put it out, while also owning property in the same neighborhood. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Federal Reserve once again turned to BlackRock to manage its corporate bond buying program. At a time when companies were fighting for survival, BlackRock was helping decide who lived and who died. And once again, it had stakes in many of those companies. This is the very definition of conflict of interest. You own part of the system and you also get to redesign the system. But the story goes even deeper. BlackRock's leadership has walked a revolving door between Wall Street and Washington. Brian Dees, former head of sustainable investing at BlackRock, became director of the National Economic Council. Adewale Adeyemo, a former chief of staff at BlackRock, became U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary. Michael Pyle, formerly with BlackRock, became chief economic advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris. So now we have former BlackRock executives writing national economic policy, while BlackRock continues to profit from those policies. And still, there's more. BlackRock's global reach is staggering. In Europe, it advised the European Central Bank on managing financial crises. In France, it offered guidance on pension reform, sparking mass protests. In Greece, it was involved in decisions about asset sales during the country's debt crisis. In Japan, it helped the central bank navigate asset purchases. Even in developing countries, BlackRock has expanded its presence, offering financial solutions while gaining influence over national economies. And here's the catch. None of this is illegal. In fact, BlackRock operates with full transparency under existing regulations. The problem is, the regulations were never built for a company this big, this complex, or this interconnected. We've never had a financial institution with this much access, this much data, and this little accountability. BlackRock is not a conspiracy. It's not a secret society. It's a symptom of modern capitalism. The logical endpoint of a system where money flows freely, data is king, and scale is everything. But should we be concerned? Let's look at the risks. First, too much power in too few hands. When just 3 companies own most of the economy, competition suffers, innovation slows, worker wages stagnate. Prices become harder to control. Second, systemic risk. If BlackRock makes a mistake, if Aladdin miscalculates, if its algorithms fail, the consequences could ripple through the entire global economy in seconds. Third, political influence. BlackRock doesn't donate like a political party. It doesn't lobby like an industry group. It doesn't protest or campaign. It simply invests and advises. And yet, its voice is heard louder than most elected officials. When BlackRock speaks, presidents listen. Central banks respond, markets move. Fourth, the erosion of democracy. When unelected financial institutions hold this much sway over governments, elections become less about policy and more about maintaining investor confidence. We start to see governments acting in the interests of markets, not citizens. And finally, invisibility. The most dangerous power is the kind you can't see. While we argue over left versus right, public versus private, capitalism versus socialism, BlackRock quietly grows. No scandals, no lawsuits, no headlines, just silent, steady accumulation. So where does that leave us? It's easy to feel powerless. Like the system is too big, too complex, too far gone. But understanding is the first step to change. When we understand the structure of power, how it operates, who holds it, and who benefits, we can begin to ask better questions. Who should control our retirement funds? Should one company manage half the global economy? How do we balance efficiency with accountability? Do we need new regulations? Do we need a new economic system? Or do we simply need transparency? These are not simple questions, but they are essential, because companies like BlackRock aren't just managing money, they're managing the future. And the question is, whose future? Yours, mine, or theirs? If this video sparked a thought, drop it in the comments. Let's talk. If it opened your eyes, share it. The more people understand, the harder it is for silence to stay invisible. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden architecture of power, subscribe. This is just the beginning. We're not here to create fear. We're here to create awareness, because real power doesn't want to be seen. And BlackRock? It's hiding in plain sight.